guys so much. Thank you everyone for coming out. I had a really witty, relevant, recent idea for our first joke, but I forgot it. That's fine. There's some other ones. Well, first of all, I'm just so happy everyone came out. Thank you so much. And there's a lot of people I don't recognize here, so I thought I would just start, because it's so important, by talking about my injury. So basically, it's not even a joke. I fell off a city bike because I was drunk biking home from a party in a public park. Not for real. It was at an amphitheater, but it wasn't a show. And I was drunk city biking home, and then I fell. And I went to the ER, and they told me I needed to go to a specialist. I went to the specialist, and they told me I needed surgery. And then I had a surgery, and they put like a Home Depot's worth of screws and plates and shit in my foot. And I can't walk again until they take all of that out at the second surgery. Which is crazy, because I know a lot of people who've had surgery and they have like a plate in their elbow, a plate in their foot, whatever. And I see them walk, and I see them swing a baseball bat and use their arm. So I don't understand what happened. Maybe I have bad insurance that I got the hardware that you can't walk on. But I did, and it's gonna be fine. I'm just gonna cultivate a lot of patience. And people always ask me if I'm gonna get back on a bike. And I'm gonna get back on a bike. It's the fastest way to get around the city, but you know what sucks about getting injured on a bike is it really is kind of prime ground for PTSD, because like straight guys don't really use Instagram, but when they do, the one thing they use it for is to Instagram story them on a bike not holding the handles at 1 a.m. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, what are you doing? And I don't like to see that, because every time they do it, they don't end up in the hospital. So when a gay man tries it, and I was holding both handles. But whatever. You know what's also fun is like when I walk out, even just now, like you see there's not much space and I'm on the crutches, I get a little scared, because the most intense thing that can happen to me right now is to fall. I already did it once and I didn't end well. So if I did it again, I think it scares a lot of people, the idea that I might fall. But I don't. But every time I get in an Uber, everybody's so scared, and I feel really bad. Because I like, you know, I'm calling someone to come pick me up just to scare them. But what's scarier, I don't know if you guys seen this, I have this thing called the I Walk. And it's like, thank you, give it up for the I Walk. It's like a platform, and it has a peg coming out of the bottom. So if you're seeing it just from the front, it kind of looks like I lost the second half of my left leg. And the other day I was at a coffee store, and would you believe it, the guy in front of me lost the second half of his left leg. And he kind of turned around and gave me this look that was like, we are not the same. And I was like, no, I don't want to be the same. I'm not trying to be the same. I'm so sorry that it looks like that. But also I have to use the I Walk. I need my hands. So it works out. And what's crazier and more important than anything is that with the crutches or the I Walk or whatever I use, I get a lot of attention. And that's fine by me, because I love attention so much that when I was younger, I actually like wanted to be kidnapped. I was like, oh, you know what? Like, what's this milk carton situation they got going on? And I'm like, where did they get those headshots? They literally must send someone to take them, because I didn't have headshots. So if I was younger, I didn't have headshots. So if they kidnapped me, they would need to send a photographer on site to go get that picture to put it on the milk carton. I was down for it. And you know what's crazier is that the problem is, like I said, I like attention, and I've liked it for a while. And what's that story of this, like the boy that cried wolf, or the girl that, whatever the gender of the wolf crier is, they cried wolf. And I'm kind of like the Ben that cried boot. In the sense that like I always have like some sort of underlying condition, like I had COVID, and I had tonsillitis, and I had something happen with my balls, but they're fine now. I always have like a medical condition, so I worry a little bit that I'm not getting enough respect on the boot, or attention for the boot. So in the beginning of my injury, I will admit I did exaggerate a little bit, just a little bit around the edges to kind of spice it up. And people did not really pick up on that. because I think people are just kind of used to me exaggerating, so nobody really bought the whole I'm going to be in the crutches for 8 weeks thing. And would you believe how karma works? I have been in the crutches for 9 weeks, and I have literally another half of the time to go. So it's fine. Karma came around to me, and it just sucks because like I made my diagnosis worse than it is, and then it was worse. But don't worry, guys. It's gonna be done in like September or October. I don't know. Don't trust me, obviously, but it's gonna be done soon. And I really hate. I hate to be this guy because I think it's like really immoral to exaggerate your injury. Like I hate when people exaggerate their condition. Like you know when people lose their contacts and they kind of act all Helen Keller. They're like, as if 1 millimeter of plastic is separating you from blindness and sight. Like you don't need to be doing all that. And I just think it's immoral and I don't want to do it. Obviously you can fucking see if you lose your contact. So just stand up and walk. And the one thing I appreciate about my boot is it kind of changed my lifestyle, my injury. Like, I'm a film major, but I only seen 3 movies. And obviously I would like for that to change. I really would, but I just don't want to watch the movies. But now that I have nothing else to do, I've been watching a lot of movies. So I recently watched Zero Dark 30. Has anybody seen Zero Dark 30? Yeah. It's like they're finding Osama bin Laden. And it's like Jessica Chastain plays the main girl who's finding bin Laden. And it's kind of crazy because they turn the movie into a feminist tale. So she like works at the CIA, okay? She's like at the CIA and she's like finding bin Laden. She's like looking. And it's a couple years in. It's a couple years after 2001. And they're like, I forget her character name, but they're like, Jessica's character. You have been looking for bin Laden for so long. They try to gaslight her. I don't know what that word means, but I think I got it right. They try to gaslight her into thinking she's crazy for like still looking for bin Laden. And it's just so crazy that even an American movie about finding bin Laden, the misogyny outweighs finding bin Laden. It was crazy. But it's okay, because the one thing that I will always do, whether or not people give me the attention I think I deserve, is claim a little help around the edges. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm in the boot, but obviously I will use it to, like, get a table at a restaurant or, like, get an extra free drink. Or the biggest thing I use it for is I bring my notes on stage. I didn't have time to memorize because I had to do a lot of eye walking around. And so my first note says, how genuine is this vanity? Right, so sometimes I don't understand my notes, and that's fine too. I think what I wanted to talk about in this joke is a phenomenon that I've really been watching out for recently. You guys, it's like, you guys know clout chasing, right? It's like Gen Z clout chasing, like star fucking is like the word people use for it, but nobody's having sex with anyone else. So it's just, you know, star fucking is kind of like, you don't care about who someone is until you know what they do and who they know. And it's kind of like, you know, social climbing is like the more common word for it. And I'm really interested in this because before my injury, I was kind of doing that. And, but now that I'm injured, it's really nice to step back and kind of take a look at what everybody's doing and figure out what's going on here. Because, it's kind of a noble pursuit. I'm not going to get it right. I'm not going to pretend like I have something noble to say about star fucking, but I have some ideas. And this is my defense mechanism. You know when like, it's like defense hypocrisy. Like when you call behavior out in someone else when nobody gets you. Like I'm like, that person sounds so gay. Right? But, so in my defense hypocrisy, I'm really interested in star fucking. And, I realized I was a star fucker because I went to dinner with this star fucker. And I was really happy to go to the dinner. She's really cool. She like knows a lot of people. You guys know Office Mag, whatever. She was cool. And she was around. And we were going to dinner. And I realized like 45 minutes in, like after I had the whole entree and everything, I hadn't looked at her once. So I was like, you know what? Let me just get my eyes on this girl and see what she looks like at the very least. And when I looked at her, she was looking around the restaurant at everyone else. And I was kind of hurt. And I realized I was doing the same thing to her, so it's fine. And it's not fine. That's when I wanted to change my behavior, and I realized I was a star fucker. And the one thing I'll say that I realize about Starbucks as well, they're very gatekeeping, right? They're very because it's Starbucks is like born out of insecurity. So like if somebody's using putting other people down to pull themselves up, it's a very unstable foundation. Like they need to put other people down constantly. So Starfuckers love to post like an Instagram story and make you feel like you weren't there or like you don't know what's going on. I seen this girl, she posted an Instagram story of a sweet green salad. And the text on it said, IYKYK. If you know, you know. Now remember, it's a picture of a salad. So let me know what she knows about salad that I don't know about salad. Right? Because what the fuck do you know about salad that I don't know about salad? So, it was very scary, but whatever. Fuck that girl. And fucking salad. I have enough information about salad. But you know what sucks too? Like normally if somebody's acting fucked up, you go call them out. It's a very normal thing to do. And it helps everybody get better. If you call a starfucker out, you call a starfucker out and you're at some party, maybe at an amphitheater in public even. And you'll say, why are you excluding me? Or why are you going behind my back to be friends with my friends? Or why are you posting these stories? Why are you leaving me out? They won't say anything. They have to double down. They're like, what? Double down. Like, no. Very scary. But you know what? Starbucks is not my real problem. My real problem is that I chronically like imitate people's accents. As you can maybe tell, I'm a white man. So that is not something you can really do. I don't know. But I was uptown and I was going to get some vodka, represent. And this woman, she saw my boot. And she was like, oh, sweetie, what happened? I was like, oh, don't worry. I just fell off a bike. She's like, oh, a bike? Were you wearing a helmet? I was like, no, I wasn't wearing a helmet. Sorry. She's like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't get on a bike without a helmet. I was like, well, I want to get on a bike without a helmet. I was like, what? I was just biking home. You know, I didn't know. She was like, oh, well, how'd you do it? I was like, well, I ordered the bell. I just stepped in. It's broken. She was like, oh, my God. My husband the other year, he was biking home and he broke his foot too. So he got that in common. I said, where's your husband? She said, oh, he's away. He's always away. Oh, tell me about it, sweetie. And then I ran into this Australian girl. And she was like telling me about, she was like opening some store. She was like, oh, it's so hard and like, it's so hard to open a store in COVID, like, nobody comes in or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, like, don't you love to like have people in the store? And she was like, oh, you know, I haven't been home in so long. And I was like, oh. She was like, oh. And she was like, oh, they closed the border, so you can't even go. I was like, sweetie, you don't want to go. It's such a long flight anyway. She was like, oh yeah, I know, but like, it's kind of hard too. Like, Australia's been so off the grid, like, no one even knows what's going on. And I was like, yeah, tell me about it. What's going on? She was like, well, you remember when all those koalas burned? No one talks about it. I was like, yeah, that's right. Like, how many koalas was burning? She was like, no, like, literally a billion. Like, that's so many. What are we going to do? She's like, it's over. I was like, well, so we can't do anything. So why are we even talking about it? She's like, I don't know. And then I ran into this guy who was from India, and he was really cool. I liked him. He was really cool. How's everyone doing? Okay, I see the drinks are pouring. I see that everybody's comfortable. It's very chill out here. Don't feel the pressure to laugh or... No, that's good. I just want everyone to be comfortable. No starfuckers in the house. Yes. They come later. They have to have dinner first. So, the other day, my friend was telling me that she thinks her therapist online stalks her. And, I mean, like, duh. Right? Like, I don't go to a meeting without online stalking the person I'm meeting with. So, of course, my therapist stalks me online. And that's just really heartbreaking. because I thought I was a really good storyteller. Because he really understood like everything I was talking about. He remembered all the details. He knew exactly the day when I went from brunette to blonde and blonde to brunette. And yeah, I was like kind of taken aback because that's really scary. And it's such a bummer, but it's okay if I can't paint a realistic picture. It's fine. I like my picture anyway. But the thing is, I just wonder like what's wrong with that? Like, something feels wrong about the therapist, like, stalking you online, but I can't really put my finger on it, and it sucks so hard because I would love to talk to my therapist about this. I don't want him to think I think about him too much. You see, it sets a vicious cycle up, and it really sucks. And I also feel like if my therapist is going on my Instagram and, like, looking me up, I can't lie to him anymore because I kind of overshare on Instagram. So he's going to catch me out, which really sucks. And I kind of try to test him. I'm like, and I was with my friend Andy. Let's see if he knew the last name. And I was like, and we were going to the. And he kind of knew. He was like, I was like, yeah. Yeah, we were kidding. Calm down. It's only scary because it takes away my control of the narrative. And if you don't realize you're already at my show. So I kind of like having control of the narrative. And I don't want him connected to other parts of my life. And the other day I was in therapy. And I got a call from an unknown number. So I picked up because I always pick up unknown numbers because it always might be a doctor. And even if you're not expecting a call from a doctor, that's kind of when they tell you you have cancer and stuff like that. So I always pick up, just in case. And I picked up and I was like, oh, you know what, this is not a good time. Can I call Dr. Mila back? And my therapist was like, remind me what Dr. Mila's doing for you. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, no, I know Dr. Mila. I was like, no, you don't fucking know Dr. Mila. He was like, yeah, Stephen Mila. I was like, okay. And it was creepy too because Dr. Mila was a little sus. Like, Dr. Mila was like low-key gay. Not that that's wrong or anything, but like, I don't like a gay elder also having to deal with my sinus issues, like one at a time. You know what I mean? And so my therapist was like, what is Dr. Mila doing for you? I was like, how do you know Dr. Mila? And I was like, do you guys meet in Fire Island? And my therapist was like, no, I don't think we met in the Pines. I was like, oh, shut the fuck up. Now I can't talk to you about Fire Island either. Fuck you. You're a new therapist. I hate my gay doctor conspiracy. It's so fucked up. So you guys want to hear about a problem I'm having recently? Yeah. Okay, good. Not enough of y'all. I don't know what the rest of y'all are doing here. No, just kidding. So I'm just reflecting on this, and it's so sad because I know so many women. But I don't really understand how catcalling works. Like, I don't really fully get it. I was speaking to my friend the other day, and I was like, oh, I kind of hate going out right now because everybody stares at my boob, and I can really tell. She's like, oh, I hate going out in New York City, too, because everybody catcalls me all the time. I was like, okay, sweetie. She was like, you should try getting catcalled. I was like, first of all, if I could, I would. Right? If I could, I would. I just want to try it. And second of all, why did nobody catcall me? I think I'm fun. I mean, maybe I have a boot or whatever. Thank you, Iman. And I would catcall me. Maybe this is what I meant about the vanity, but I would catcall me, okay? And so I was speaking to her, and then she was like, yeah, you know what, the boot is whatever. I was like, okay, no, the boot is not whatever. At least you can walk. You can walk away from a catcall. So she didn't really win the Oppression Olympics, but it got me thinking, like, I really do want to understand how catcalling works, because I'm trying to be like an ally or whatever, and to women, and then femme identifying people everywhere. And so I didn't want to ask her, right? You don't want to ask somebody ever to describe their oppression, because I'm always that guy. Like, my friend got held at gunpoint, and I was like, tell me everything. She was like, you know what, it's actually really hard to talk about. I was like, no, tell me. So I didn't want to ask my friend what it was like to get catcalled. So I've been kind of thinking in my head, because the one thing I just have a question on is like, what's the difference between like a holler, you know, like a compliment, and a catcall? Because if somebody was like, slay bitch, I would have been like, that person just catcalled me. But I think a catcall is more gross, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, like, girl, let me spit in your toes, or like, girl, let me eat your ass when your family's home, you know what I mean? Or like, let me take your tampons out, you know, something like, You know, thank you, Linda. It's something you don't really fully want, right? But it's kind of crazy to me that I don't fully understand catcalling because I've lived in New York my whole life. I was actually born on the Upper East Side. I don't like to talk about it, so please don't really repeat it. But I was born uptown. But actually, the first apartment I lived in was on 6th Street and Avenue B. Yeah, right here. And it's crazy because, so I live on the West Side, and during COVID, all my friends from high school went away to college. And I wasn't going to sit around like the rest of y'all. So I befriended everyone at NYU. And so I spend a lot more time in the East Village now. And it's so crazy that only until recently, my friend texted me, she was like, meet me on Avenue A. I was like, Avenue? Which one? And she was like, no, Avenue A. I was like, they have letters? And actually they do. And I can say it because I live on Avenue B, thank you. And it was just so crazy to discover that as a child, I was raised like at Tompkins and like running around Tompkins. Because I kind of was under the impression that maybe like somebody was taking me to the Met or like Statue of Liberty or like Central Park. But it's fine to be raised in Tompkins. I just feel like the Tompkins kids are like hardier than I am even now. So I don't understand the connection. Like the Tompkins kids like are smoking like 8 packs a day and like telling about their senior art thesis. They're like, yeah, it's kind of about play. Like, I'm really exploring youth and play. So they're very scary to me. But that's what I don't really like the smoking kids in Tompkins. They're like, I stabbed someone. I've been through it. I'm like, okay. And you know what? That's kind of why I never want kids. And thinking about kids, I realize how hard it is to be gay, right? Like, you have to come out, first of all. And then you have to, like, you have to come out. And then you have to kind of, like, figure out who you're gonna go with, and like people aren't out yet, and then you have to like come up with a thesis on Grindr. Like everyone's on it, you have to be like, oh, I don't use it because I'm kind of above that, or like I use it without a picture or something like that. And also like if you're gay in New York, there's like a whole squad of twinks rooting for your demise all the time. So it's very hard. But the hardest thing about being gay is you have to buy your kids. Like you have to either pay thousands of dollars to adopt a child or tens of thousands of dollars to make one in a glass bottle. You have to do like a sperm swirl and get an IVS and a surrogate, and there's no kind of like cheaper Costco way to do it. Like you can like mix the sperm up in a bottle, but so you gotta find an egg and you find an IVF and you find a pregnancy surrogate, pregnancy person. So it's very hard. It's very hard, and I don't know, because I also want like a house and a car. So I'm not gonna what? Spend it on a kid? And I think if I had a kid, it would be hard anyway. Because if I had a kid, I think I would have to act straight. And I don't mean to offend anyone, because I know there's like no such thing as acting straight. But come on, if there was no such thing as acting straight, you wouldn't know what I meant right now, and you do. And if I didn't act straight around my kid, I feel like I'd be called into the principal's office. And they'd be like, Ben, your son, Fred Siegel, just called the teacher a cunt. And I would be like, a what? Like, a cunt. And I'd be like, it's just no right. What do you mean? Tell me anything. And they would be like, well, your son told the teacher she was serving cunt. And I would be like, you guys, stop. No, it was just a compliment. Let me talk to Fred. And they put Fred on the phone, and I said, did you call the teacher a cunt? And he would say, Daddy, the teacher was just serving cunt. And I would say, Fred, do you not remember? Words like boots the house down, serve cunt, slay yes mom. These are Daddy and Papa's words at home. Don't make him use them at school. They're scary. So, I can't really have a kid. I feel like I've almost been blacked out for this whole set, but I love it. And we are reaching the end, so we'll all drink and party soon. I'm so sad. Has it been 30 minutes or what?
No.
No, okay. I feel like it's been like 10 minutes and I've been going very fast. But there'll be subtitles on the replay, so we're fine. And people should rewatch it. No, I'll put them in myself. But before I leave, I want to circle back to star fucking, okay? I really have been thinking a lot about it. And obviously the word star fucking is unlike clout chasing and social climbing. It has a more pejorative connotation And it's derived from, obviously, this idea of, like, people fucking their way to the top. And I just want to speak a little about that. Because I feel like when I was younger, like, when I was growing up, there was this, like, myth. Fucking your way to the top. Everybody who fucks their way to the top, so slimy, so gross, no backbone, no integrity. As if what, everybody was just fucking their way to the top and you had to, like, look out around you for a star fucker? They made it sound like that apple that the snake gave Eve. You know what I mean? So they had to be like, don't fuck your way to the top. Don't do it. Don't do it. So where is the snake offering me a night with David Geffen? Because it's not that easy. And people who fuck their way to the top do try hard. It's hard work to fuck your way to the top. It's not so easy. The people who you need to fuck are not just walking around looking to get fucked. And I think that's an important revelation because maybe it's like a Puritan work ethic thing, but I think when people work hard, they think they're working well. Like, we confuse hard work and good work. So it's very hard to tell, I think, that you even are being a star fucker, or being a star fucker is so wrong. You know what I mean? You can even very easily convince yourself in your head, like, oh, you know what? I'm posting this on my Instagram story because I think it's cool. Right? It's harder to hear a voice that's like, why did you just screenshot someone else's Instagram story to post it on your Instagram story and then tag all the same people even though you were never tagged? You know, that's harder. And that's a tougher thing to do. So I get it. And I think people do work very hard. But what I will say is there's always a voice. There's always a voice that's like, don't blind me now. There's always a voice behind you that says, you're not being yourself or you're not doing what you want to do. And if you don't listen to the voice, you'll get anxiety, you'll get depression, it'll happen. And I don't think anybody's bad for being, you know, living without integrity. Because, like I said, I'm a recovering star fucker. And I have lived without integrity before, and I hope everybody will live with integrity. No, I mean, whatever. I mean, it's a comedy show. You don't have to learn anything. But, there's not like a 12-step program. That's a project for another time. But I do think everybody can do a little better to live with integrity. I think it's not so hard, and I think it's an important lesson to learn. And I think, at the very least, if you don't live for yourself, you start to fuck up. It's very clear. You start to be too pushy, and you start to be upset, and you go home unsatisfied, and you get too drunk. And if you push yourself too far, you don't let yourself have any flaws, and sometimes you even end up biking home drunk when you can't. But it's true. You know, if you start to just take the slack off and care a little less about what other people are thinking about you and a little more about how much fun you're having and if you really want to be doing what you're doing, things get easier and you'll push yourself a little less hard and you'll be a little safer and it'll get easier. And I'm happy I learned that lesson because I'm not going anywhere. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone for coming out. I hope everyone will stay and hang and will party. I want to thank so many people that helped me with this. Stephen Yatsko and Bobby Yatsko. Lilith on the camera. Amanda. Esme, Liza, Spencer. Everyone who's really made this happen. My family and all of you guys for coming out. And yeah, thank you so much. I'm so happy.